The timeline split that we have been talking about for so long is actually now visible. Here's what you need to know in order to be prepared. Hi, I'm Saratoga Ocean, and I work together with an interdimensional, interuniversal, and extraterrestrial force known as Telstar, along with Archangel Michael. Now, we have been talking about this major evolutionary timeline split for a very long time. And now the shocking part is that this split has actually become visible and is now coming up over the horizon. In this video, I'm going to show you everything you need to know right now in order to prepare yourself and protect your soul. But before I get into that, I just want to say I am so happy to be back on camera with you all. If you're new to my channel, I've been taking a much needed restorative break, and now I'm easing back into my regular videos. And I'll say more about that at the end of this video because I'm sure you all are very anxious to get into this content. So let's start by reviewing what these two major timelines are. The first timeline is the evolutionary trajectory of the natural planet Earth. That's the higher timeline where Earth in all of its natural beauty exists as an integral part of the greater universe, which is the actual engine of all natural evolution. In this higher timeline, Earth evolves in concert with the universe and with powerful celestial forces of nature and evolution. This is the timeline of a natural and evolving human being. The second timeline is the lower timeline of AI, or artificial intelligence. This is a completely unnatural timeline that is being artificially created in total separation from the natural universe. The generating force behind this lower timeline is that of an alien force that is parasitic in nature. This force is extremely dangerous, and we are now approaching the point of no return in terms of this timeline split. But no worries, because I'm going to tell you everything you need to know right now and how you can most effectively prepare yourself. And I also want to share this with you. In my next video, I'm going to show you how everything that has gone on in the past 2 years is directly linked to this lower AI timeline. So be sure to keep an eye out for that video. Now, I want to talk to you about the metaverse because since I last talked about this, I have discovered that things are much farther along than we knew. See, the metaverse is what's going to link us to that lower AI timeline. And that's why we need to be prepared in advance so that we do not allow that to happen. Now, the controllers have kept us completely distracted with their obsession with a certain health issue, along with what I like to call the thing that shall not be named, which is that sharp thing they want to stick in everybody. And then add to that politics, racism, violence, and anything else that can keep us ignorant of the much bigger picture. See, they use the media to tell us what is important right now, while in the background there is something much more serious going on. Now, what I'm going to share with you in this video and in my next video is going to completely blow your mind. You are going to understand why they are doing all of the insane things that they're doing and how everything, all of this is completely interconnected. Now, the controllers keep us fighting, frightened, confused, and divided, so we stay in lower states of consciousness at a baseline survival level. That's designed to shut down our higher mind and our ability to think critically about what they're actually doing. And now they've ginned it up into a state of mass hysteria. And see, part of that is because they're really not very bright. Even though they appear to be in control, they're actually quite unevolved. They don't know how to effectively integrate with natural human life. Now, back to the metaverse. If you don't know what the metaverse is, it's an alternate AI reality that is designed to completely mirror our actual physical life here on Earth. The goal is for humanity to reduce their time in the physical world and function mostly in the 3D metaverse through human-looking avatars. Now, public awareness about this was increased recently when Mark Zuckerberg announced that Facebook would be changing their name to Meta. He did a video presentation demonstrating how we would all be living and working in this alternate reality that would seamlessly blend with our physical reality. Now, when I first heard this, I thought it was something new. I thought it was just a Facebook thing. I figured that it was just this dumb, futuristic idea that was quite a ways off, if ever. I could not have been more wrong. As I looked into this further, I was absolutely shocked at what I found out. What I learned is that the metaverse has been under development by giant mega corporations for years. They are only just now starting to roll out knowledge of this publicly. Now stay with me because I'm going to show you how this is leading to the exact timeline split that we have been talking about. Let me show you how far along this dystopian plan really is. Just to show you how real this is, let me explain what has been going on right under our noses for a very long time. So I first watched a video by Roger James Hamilton, and he said that 3 important things needed to come together in order for the metaverse to become a reality. Those 3 things are public demand, software, and hardware. Here's the shocking part. All 3 of those things are massively in place already worldwide. He said we have already reached a critical mass of demand. You will not believe this. There are already 2.5 billion gamers online every single day experiencing virtual worlds. I mean, guys, that is literally 1/3 of the entire planet's population. And you're going to see how that connects in just a couple of minutes. And secondly, he said that the software is already in place. See, he said that the internet was based on code to build websites, but the metaverse is built with massive engines that create entire 3D worlds. These engines have already been built by the massive multi-billion-dollar gaming industry. And by the way, the 3D metaverse is slated to replace the 2D internet altogether. So the internet and mobile phones are soon going to be ancient history in a matter of years. And as for the third thing, which is the hardware, that refers to how one accesses the metaverse. You know those weird clunky headsets that you might have seen video of people using, or maybe you use them yourself, I don't know. Those are actually being replaced by smart glasses. So Facebook, Apple, and Amazon are already launching smart glasses as a better, lighter, more efficient way to access the metaverse. Now, the reality is that the metaverse is emerging out of the huge global games market. Now, you might say, well, you know, Saratoga, I'm not into gaming, so I'm really just not concerned. But here's the thing. The gaming part of this sinister scheme was just to condition a large portion of humanity to be okay with this, to act as unwitting guinea pigs and to get highly addicted. And it was also a brilliant plan to ensure that no one else would take any of this seriously. Because after all, gaming is just for entertainment, right? So why worry? This made it possible for these huge corporations to take all the years necessary to create the larger technology designed to ultimately envelop the entire planet in the metaverse. Okay, let's take just a little break from the intensity of all of this. Adam in Telstar recently told me why it is important to have a higher, more celestial standard in your life on planet Earth. It's because if you don't maintain that higher standard, you become extremely vulnerable to being manipulated. That's because if you don't have a standard that comes from your true self, your deep inner knowing, and the truth in your heart, it's really hard to know what to believe, and you might just end up believing anything. So later we're going to talk about establishing a powerful standard of knowingness and truth that will give each of us the inner guidance we need to protect ourselves and not lose our way in all of this madness. Okay, are you guys ready for the hardcore stuff now? Now we're going to take a look at how the timeline split has actually become visible. And this is so important to know so that you can navigate this split with certainty and clarity. So here, my friends, is the shocking plan. The controllers are planning to create a life-sized AI version of our entire planet. This will exist in what they are calling the Omniverse. They plan to link the AI Earth to multiple other worlds. And by the way, this second Earth is already well into development. So they plan to connect the physical world atoms to digital world bits. They are literally going to create a life-sized, planet-sized duplicate Earth. So yay for them, right? And surprise, surprise, somewhere in this whole plan, they're going to say that this is necessary for climate change. Now, would you like to know the real reason that 5G is such a thing? It's not so we can download videos faster. It's not so we can make our phones and our computers faster. That's not what it's for at all. It's because 5G is what is needed to power the entire metaverse. There are 15 million 5G microcells and towers planned for global deployment over the next 5 years. They're already creating digital twins of entire cities that are physically accurate down to the building materials and the vegetation. Their duplicate cities are so real that they can actually see the quality of the signal at any point on Earth virtually. That's how they know where to put these things. Now, I know it's easy to say, big deal. So what if they create a digital version of Earth? We still have the real Earth, and that would be true if the digital AI Earth was merely going to exist in the familiar 2D format on our phones and computers. But they say that within 10 years, you will not be able to tell the difference between the metaverse and physical reality. They've actually coined a phrase called reality level definition. This goes well beyond high definition or ultra high definition. Reality level resolution is where your eyes won't be able to tell the difference between digital and real. It's called retina level definition. Supposedly, you would be able to fall asleep with your AR glasses, wake up and have no idea if what you're seeing is reality or not. So the plan is that within 10 years, our reality is going to merge with a completely lifelike, planet-sized digital metaverse. And they're going to use the exact same trick that they used to get us all on the internet. It's going to be sold as total freedom, amazing creativity, and a new world of free self-expression. It's going to basically be sold as freedom. So what the larger plan is to shift our current physical economy, or most of our physical economy, into a much larger economy in the metaverse. See, eventually everything's going to take place in the metaverse. Land, property, and all assets will be linked to the blockchain and ownership exchanged through this dystopian digital reality. And in case you think that sounds really crazy and really out there, which it actually is, let me show you how that's already underway. Wealthy realtors and real estate developers are already buying up land and properties in the metaverse. Here's an interesting little factoid for all of us. According to Mandy McEwen, who does some podcast episodes for a company called Digital Marketer, a piece of real estate in the metaverse just sold for $2.43 million. And then a week later, a virtual real estate developer purchased a piece of property for $4.3 million. See, everybody, this is what I did on my break. I researched all of this, and it was like, oh my God. Now, let me show you why this is not just a little Facebook Mark Zuckerberg thing. See, Facebook's just trying to enter into the metaverse. They're not the creator of the metaverse. Believe it or not, there are already major companies such as Dior, Ferrari, Nike, and NASCAR who are already setting themselves up in the metaverse. This is what's waiting for all of us, you guys. Massive corporations are spending billions of dollars to have this well underway in advance of the general public having the slightest clue of what is actually going on. And meanwhile, what does the media tell us every single day, 24/7? Hey people, there are only two things happening in this world. The endless health issue, along with the thing that shall not be named, and politics. That is all that we're supposed to be thinking about, just that. So now I want to show you how this represents the actual timeline split and how very real it actually is. So far, we can recognize 4 stages that are preceding this split. We started off with the purely natural Earth. Then AI entered the picture, and through a process that unfolded over centuries and even longer, the entire planet ultimately became shrouded in the internet. And now our entire lives and our whole economy are connected to the internet. Literally everything that exists in our human realm has at some point passed through and been recorded in the web. And now we are entering stage 4, which is to shift from the internet into the metaverse. Now in stage 3, we could still see a dividing line between our physical lives and our AI digital lives. Our screens represented that dividing line. It was really clear. My physical world is here, then there's a screen, and then there's my AI digital world over here. So you could clearly see and distinguish the difference between the two things. So in stage 4, the plan is to seamlessly blend the physical world with the AI metaverse, so there is no longer a line that divides them. The lines between the metaverse and the physical world will become more and more difficult to detect. So this is where we see the beginning of the actual timeline split. There really are going to be 2 Earths. This is absolutely literal. Here's what this looks like in its simplest form. We have the natural Earth, which is always on a higher timeline of natural evolution because it's connected to the power of the entire universe, which is evolving itself as well. And then we have the lower AI timeline, which takes us right into a fake AI duplicate of the planet Earth, a literal life-size duplicate of our planet. So the natural Earth is what is connected to the power of ascension energy and the power of that vibration and all of those profound cosmic forces that are working in unison together to evolve not just the planet Earth, but the entire universe. None of that exists in the AI duplicate of the planet Earth. So right now we still have a choice. I am giving you some very precious advanced notice of what is to come so you can prepare yourself. It looks like the entire financial system on this planet is going to be shifted into a form of cryptocurrency specifically created for the metaverse. So there is a chance that we might ultimately find certain parts of our lives connected to the metaverse by necessity, just like right now we're all connected to the internet by necessity. Now, fortunately, this is not happening anytime soon, so we still have a chance to do something about it for ourselves. There are 4 things that we must start doing right now to protect ourselves and preserve our souls and have a chance to anchor ourselves to that higher timeline. The first thing is to make sure that we are firmly anchored to the natural planet Earth. We want to make sure that we never lose sight of the difference between our physical presence on the natural planet and the AI world surrounding it. That's how we anchor ourselves to the higher timeline of the natural Earth. So let me say something about that higher timeline. The natural Earth is an integral part of a very powerful universe. Nothing can ever change that. There are massive cosmic forces over which we have no control that are stewarding this planet forward in its evolutionary journey. The natural Earth is on a timeline where eventually all suffering, division, and death will cease to exist. And it's very important to realize that this is not just about human beings. This very much includes the plant and animal kingdoms as well. This is what is referred to in the phrase that we hear of the lion will lay down with the lamb. There will be no food chain. There will be no reproduction and reincarnation. There will be no killing and no life forms eating each other. There will only be infinite life backed by omnipresent love. So as long as you stay firmly anchored to the natural Earth and to your natural physical life, you still have a chance to stay on a higher timeline trajectory. The second thing that we must do is to be very clear about what our values are. What we value most in life needs to be aligned with the natural Earth and with who we are as natural evolving humans. We need to know what we value so we know where to focus our energy. So if you value love, human touch, and physical companionship, physical creativity, and your own physical body, along with the incredible beauty of nature and the cosmos, you will naturally nurture those qualities in your experience. This is how you can stay aligned with the natural universe and keep your consciousness on a natural trajectory of human evolution. The third thing we must do is to stay in a state of gratitude and appreciation for our physical bodies and our physical lives. See your physical life as a canvas for creativity. What can you do to enjoy your physical environment? What can you do to bring the vibration of your physical environment into greater alignment with your heart and your natural human desire for peace and harmony? See, your physical body will find peace and resonance when your surrounding environment is at a high vibration. Now, we need to realize that the metaverse is going to masquerade as a place that will give you everything you've ever wanted. But here's what it will not have. There is no heart in the metaverse. There is no love. It's all fake. And there is certainly no true human companionship. The so-called companionship only exists between fake avatars that are not actually human. They are not actual people. They are merely an AI version of your true human self. So the fourth thing that we want to do is to maintain perspective. The goal of the metaverse is to convince you that your avatar is the same as you. It's to convince you that avatars are actual human beings. Now, I wanted you all to have this information well in advance of this becoming a collective reality, so you will not be caught off guard and risk being dangerously drawn into that lower AI timeline. Right now, we have time to shift our consciousness into a more realistic context. When I say realistic, I mean a context that really includes the entire picture, not just the tiny little pieces that the media tells us to be thinking about. This is how we can empower ourselves and stay strong in who we are as evolving humans who want to remain on a higher timeline. Now, in my next video, which will be an energy update for the year of 2022, I'm going to show you exactly how all of the treachery happening on the planet right now is for the purpose of shifting humanity into that lower AI timeline. I'm going to show you why the controllers are doing all of the insane, destructive things they are doing all around the world. I'm also going to talk about why they're doing what they're doing to children around the world. So after watching this video and the next upcoming video, you will have a comprehensive understanding of what is actually happening on this planet in a way that you can physically see for yourself. And that's what we need to stay empowered. We need to see things for ourselves. I mean, this is far too serious to only rely on stories. We need to have the leverage in our consciousness to know exactly how to navigate this situation in our own best interests. And we can only do that if we can see with our own eyes what the reality is. Now, the ascension energy is very strong on this planet right now in order to assist us in holding our own in the cosmos. So stay aligned with the real planet Earth and remember who you are in the greater universe. And I will be here to continue supporting you in any way that I can. Now, I'm still coming out of my restorative break because I unfortunately got really burned out. I'm going to ease into doing one video a week that I will post on either Tuesday or Friday. And then when I feel ready, I will have some weeks where I post 2 videos a week, just like I have in the past. And then at some point, I will be on a regular, predictable schedule. But for right now, I can share with you that I plan to post a video every week, at least one video on either Tuesday or Friday. And I'll probably put a post in the community section to let you know which day it will be posted on. So right now, I'm planning to post that next video, which is very connected to this video, on a week from now on Tuesday, January 18th. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. That's going to be the 2022 energy update for the entire year. And again, I am so happy to be back on camera with you all. And thank you all so much from my deepest heart for all of your loving support while I recovered from overworking myself. I mean, you all have truly touched my heart with the sincerity of your love and support, and I deeply thank you. I appreciate you all so much, and I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. So if you enjoyed this video and found value in it, please give it a thumbs up and share it out with as many people as you can. I think there are way too many people who have no idea about what is really going on this planet. And be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because I will be here with weekly videos on either Tuesdays or Fridays. And eventually I will hopefully come back to posting every Tuesday and every Friday as before. And with that, I'm sending you loads of love, light, and high vibrational energy. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Namaste.